Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to South Motors Volkswagen for giving me time with the all-new 2022 Volkswagen Golf GTI. And this is the SE trim here. If you're in the market for a Volkswagen, you can come check out South Motor Volkswagen and ask for Karen. She will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. But let's talk about the exterior styling here of the Golf GTI. Looking at the front fascia here, as you guys can see, very aggressive styling here from the Golf. And my model is this black on black. It looks really good with the red accents throughout the vehicle. It does break up the black for the exterior color here. But looking at these headlight modules, they're a full LED projector headlight with an LED turn signal, with an LED daytime running light, with an automatic low and high beam. And the fog lights live down here. They actually integrated into the actual grille, which is a honeycomb style finish. There is front parking sensors, and I think this area right here actually lights up, if I'm not mistaken. And I also love the red accent. It kind of breaks up the black here on the exterior color. There's the new Volkswagen emblem there, and there's the GTI badge here on the actual front fascia. But I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section and tell what you guys think about the 2022 Golf GTI. Looking at the side profile here, this has a 106.3 inch wheelbase with an overall length of 168.8 inches. But looking at these tires and wheels here, these are a 225/40 tire. They're wrapped in this 18-inch rim design. I also like the turbine-like finish here, but I wish the rim design was a different color, but it looks really good here with the black exterior color. That's also that red brake caliper there. Like I mentioned, looks really good to break up the actual black of the car. And there's the GTI badge here on the side fender with that red accent. And there's this LED side markers. And looking up top, my model does come with this moonroof here to let light and air into the actual cabin once you have it open. But making our way to the rear here of the Golf GTI, looking at these taillights here, they're full LED, which is a turn signal, brake light, and reverse light. And there's also dual tip exhaust down here, also with rear parking sensors. And there's the GTI badge right there with the Volkswagen emblem. And there's this rear wiper here to keep the rear glass clean. But to open up the cargo back here, just press in. And my model does not come with a power opening feature, but once it opens up, it reveals 19.9 cubic feet of space. And once you fold down the rear seats, it expands the cargo to 34.3 cubic feet of space. And underneath here, Volkswagen does give you a temporary spare tire instead of a fix-a-flat kit. Sitting inside the interior of the Golf GTI, looking at this cabin here, this cabin does look very upscale and very modern. As you guys can see, I like the way that this cabin looks, just like the exterior styling. It looks really good. But reaching over here to shut the door of the Golf GTI, this is the SE trim. But to start up the Golf, just put your foot on the brake and press the start-stop button right here. Also like the way that the start-stop button looks. Very unique start-stop button. But as you guys heard, that 2-liter 4-cylinder will come to life. It did have a nice snarl from the exhaust. As you guys can see, like I mentioned, very nice cabin layout here. Very big screens, they're very bright. But let's talk about the door panel materials first. It's gonna be a nice soft touch material here. There's your lock controls. There is this aluminum painted accented door handle here. There's your mirror controls. It is auto up, auto down for all 4 windows. I kind of wasn't expecting that. The materials on the door panel feel really nice. Cloth material here is also a cloth feature here, so you can rest your elbows, especially on a long road trip. And looking down here, very large storage compartment. It is also lined with felt. There's the hood latch down there, and this is a manual tilt and telescoping wheel. It does offer a decent amount of range and adjustability. Looking here, there's the turn signal stock, really nice high quality turn signal stock, and it sounds really good as well. You guys are wondering where the headlight controls are. They're right here. Once you press this button here, it does turn the fog lights and headlights on, or you can have it on automatic if you would like. Very nice design, just like the Mercedes-Benz S-Class that I tested. They had it on the actual door, but Volkswagen puts it here. And me personally, I actually like the way that they have it integrated there. Looking at the screen here, you can customize the screen by pressing the view button here. You can also change the gauge cluster. You can have it this way if you would like, or you can click it again. It does show you a very nice screen. But me personally, I like this gauge here. It looks really nice. And once you press it again, it shows you a different gauge. You can also put the map display here, just like an Audi. Over is for the driver's assistance. It does have forward collision warning with lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. This also has paddle shifters. My model does have the 7-speed dual clutch transmission. You can also get a 6-speed manual if you would like. The materials on the dash are going to be a soft touch ejection molded plastic. Looking here at the infotainment system here, if you guys are looking to access the climate controls very easily, just press this button down here. It's going to be a touch sensitive button as well. My model also has 3-level heated seats. You can adjust the temperature in here if you like, the fan speed and whatnot. Over here's your drive mode selector, which shows you comfort, sport, custom, and eco. And this button right here is for your parking sensors. It does reveal a backup camera, of course, once you press that button. It's also a rear cross traffic alert. So if it senses that there's something coming, you can also adjust the angles there. There's a top-down 360 view here, but unfortunately, it does have the radar sensor instead of the actual image there, which is still really nice, especially in this segment here. This is button here. You can adjust the volume here. Like I mentioned, everything is going to be touch sensitive here. You can also adjust the temperature in here if you would like. But going back here to the Waze map, it does take up the whole display here, which is really nice. Very very snappy system here. But going here, as you guys can see, the touch response is very impressive. It doesn't lag or anything like that. But going into the Volkswagen system, you can also change the background if you would like. Going here to settings. I'm sorry, going back to home here, my apologies. I'm not used to the system just yet. You can also change the ambient lighting throughout this cabin here. My apologies, I clicked the button down there. You can also put a blue. Me personally, blue is my favorite color. You can put it to different colors if you would like, which is super nice. And also change the actual speed here to a blue background. Whatever color you put, as you guys can see, it does change it orange, green, and whatnot. So that is really nice that Volkswagen offers this amount of technology here on the Golf GTI. This also has the Harman Kardon sound system, which sounds pretty good. There's this frameless mirror here up top. It's going to be this touch panel here for the LED lights throughout the cabin. And above me, there is this large moonroof or panoramic sunroof here. You can also open and close the shade if you would like. There's an SOS button here. The seats in here, they do feel very comfortable and very supportive. I like the red leather here on top of the actual seat, and the design on the actual seat is really nice. It's a cloth finish here, which feels really good. There's also some suede Alcantara in the actual inserts here. Open up this, it does reveal a shallow amount of storage. You can also adjust the armrest here if you would like. There's two cup holders here. Once you press this button here, the cup holder does pop out and it does retract once you push it back in. This is the key fob here for the Golf GTI. There's a lock, unlock, a trunk release, and a panic button. A lot of people say this is the same key that's off the ID4, which is Volkswagen's electric vehicle. And the key does feel really nice to hold in my hand. There's a 12 volt right there. My iPhone 13 Pro Max does fit here if it wasn't connected to the actual USB port. And there's a wireless phone pad here as well. To put the vehicle into reverse, there's a small shifter here. Just put your foot on the brake, of course. It's gonna go into neutral. You do it again, it goes into reverse. It does reveal a backup camera, of course, with trajectory and distance markers. Like I mentioned, this does have rear cross traffic alert. And to put into drive, just click it down again. And to go to sport mode, just click it again. You can also use the paddle shifters because, like I mentioned, my model does have that 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And to put it back into park, you press the P button right here. There's electronic parking brake. Open up the glove compartment here. It does offer a lot of storage here. And I actually like the design here on the actual dashboard. It does have this honeycomb style finish to it. But overall, Volkswagen has done a fantastic job here with the cabin of the Golf GTI. Getting into the back seat here of the Golf GTI, open up the door here. As you guys can see, the door opens at a really good angle so you can access the back seat, especially if you're trying to put your children back here. But getting back here, keep in mind, guys, I'm only 5'8". I do have a decent amount of headroom here, even with this large panoramic sunroof cutout, but it does not come into the actual back row here. But looking down here, Volkswagen says you get around 35 inches of legroom. This is where I have the seat to drive. I do have plenty of foot space underneath the driver's seat. There is 2 map pockets back here. You also get these pockets up here so you can put your phone. I do have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, so it does fit here, just in case you guys wanted to know. There is rear air vents back here, but there's no charging ports, unfortunately, back here. You can also sit a middle passenger here if you would like. Pulling this armrest down here, it does reveal 2 cup holders. I also like the pattern design and the actual seat backs. The seats back here feel very comfortable and supportive, just like the front seats. And above me, there is LED lights throughout the cabin. You just have to basically touch them. Very nice that Volkswagen puts that. And like I mentioned, you do get this panoramic sunroof, but it does not come into the actual back seat. Looking at the door panel materials, it's gonna be a decent material here. It's gonna be nice and padded here. Also with this aluminum painted door handle, the switchgear does feel really nice. And it's also lined with felt in the actual door pocket here. Surprised to see that. But overall, the back seat of the Golf does feel very spacious, especially if you're trying to put your family back here on a long road trip. Let's talk about the powertrain specs here for the Golf GTI. This uses Volkswagen's 2-liter TSI inline 4-cylinder engine. This makes 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. This is paired with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. You can also get a 6-speed manual just in case you don't want the dual clutch. Fuel economy for this 4-cylinder is rated at 25 in the city, 34 on the highway, and 28 combined. As the Golf GTI sits here, it weighs in around 3,100 pounds. So to kick off the driving scene here in the 2022 Golf GTI, this is the SE model here. Let's talk about the powertrain. This is Volkswagen's 2-liter TSI. This makes 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. If you guys do not want the 7-speed dual clutch, you can go for a 6-speed manual just in case you want to shift your own gears. Let's talk about the driver's assistance here on the Golf GTI. This uses Volkswagen driver's assistance, which includes emergency braking with forward collision warning, with blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, also with rear cross traffic alert. So really good driver's assistance here from the Golf GTI. It's in sport mode. I'm just gonna launch it. And the performance from a 2-liter 4-cylinder is just super impressive. And it does have paddle shifters. And you can kind of hear a little popple and crack from the exhaust. The steering feel in sport, it still feels very light here, but it's not a bad thing. The visibility out of the Golf here is really good. You also have a good commanding view of the front. Out of the back, it's kind of not the best, but once you guys purchase this car, you will get used to the rear visibility out of the Golf. The seats in here, they're supportive, they're comfortable. I like that they're cloth seats, also with this pattern in the insert. But the Golf is just really good, honestly. And to keep in mind, guys, this is my first time ever driving a Golf. I never drove the Mark 7 or any previous generation. This is the first Golf that I'm driving, and honestly, I'm super impressed, especially with the performance, the driver's assistance, even the technology out of this vehicle. This interior is out of this world. It looks better than the previous generation, in my opinion. Most people might beg to differ, but I like this interior here with the newer, nicer screens. You also can change this gauge here to show you guys a full display of the map. And going over that little bump there, but inside the cabin here of the Golf, it rides really well. I drove over that bump with other cars, and it kind of makes the whole chassis shake, and it doesn't feel very comfortable while you're doing it. But this Golf did kind of suck up the bump just fine. Man, this is a true hot hatch. I don't care what no one else says. And most people do tune these things, and I think someone would tune this to make this thing make over 300 horsepower. Like I mentioned, the performance is good, the cabin is just super fantastic, and you can make this a daily driver. You can put your family in here. You have 35 inches of legroom in the back. You also have plenty of cargo space, around 19.9 cubic feet of it. And once you fold down the rear seats, it does expand it to over 30 cubic feet of space. So you do get plenty of cubic feet of space out of the Golf here. And just everything about the Golf, I like. The exterior styling, the interior looks really good, and the performance is just really good as well. But I'm just driving the Golf here in sport mode. I mean, me personally, if I were to purchase this car, I would drive this car in sport mode all the time. And that dual clutch is just super responsive. And the dual clutch paired with this powertrain is just, they talk to each other. It knows when to be in the meat of its power band, and it's just super great with this powertrain. The powertrain is very responsive. Like I mentioned, that dual clutch is just buttery smooth. Everything about the Golf just screams performance. Starting price here for the 2022 Volkswagen Golf GTI SE is at $35,095. This one stickers for $43,693. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive1Reviews and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next review.